Welcome to Feel Good Fridays, our weekly television show to help local nonprofit organizations raise money during these challenging times. Impacted by both a tornado and a pandemic, Nashville area nonprofits have been hard hit. Donations to nonprofits are important to keep their organizations running, and we at NICAD want to help by sharing their stories and raise funds for as many nonprofit organizations as possible. Hello, my name is Shayla Paz, and I am the chair of the board for NICAD. And with me today is our vice president, Shiana Lynn Bradmeyer. I don't know why I'm tripping over my words, but today our guest is Amy Safel, executive director of Able Youth, a nonprofit organization in Nashville who leads children who use wheelchairs to become independent, graduate from high school, and continue their education in college and to enter the workforce. Hello and welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. How you doing? How this year been treating you? I mean, it's been a year, right?
It absolutely has been. I think it's going better now. We're coming out of the hard times and we're starting to meet again in person. And it's been great to see all of our kids' faces again. So it's definitely a better time and we're looking forward to better times to come for sure.
I think it was a year ago when we had a little bit over a year ago when we had the event at the studio when you came over and
Yeah,
we were talking about what we wanted to do, and we had the members meeting, and gosh, I can't believe it's been a year since I last saw you.
I know. I can't believe that either. It seems like it's been a lot longer and a lot shorter than that all together. So
Well, hopefully soon, cross our fingers that we can
absolutely.
get back into the studio and be creative in person again.
Absolutely. That would be awesome.
Well, and Amy, NECAT knows Able Youth and you very well. For our viewers, tell us a little bit about Able Youth, especially if they've never heard of the organization.
Yeah, so we help kids with physical disabilities. We've had kids come to us younger than age 2, all the way up through high school, and then we help them in their path to graduating high school and entering the real world. But we help kids with physical disabilities learn how to be independent, mostly using adaptive sports as a vehicle for that, but not always. And so we have a travel wheelchair basketball team. We have monthly super sports Saturdays. We do track and field meets. We do local road races. We do all kinds of things. But then we also got involved in NECAT to help our kids learn how one of the many ways that they can transition from things that they might like to do now into how they can make that as a career.
Which is just
I
great.
love that you want them to learn how to become producers or TV personalities or whatever, or audio engineer, or whatever they want to be, they can be just like anybody else.
Yeah, and I think that there is a major shortage in people with disabilities in the media world, whether that's either in front of or behind the camera. And so that was one big thing is we want them to know that that's something that they could do. But also, we and I have a disability too. I'm a wheelchair user as well. So I've been in their shoes, and I think that all throughout life you have people telling you, oh, well, you might not be able to do this, or maybe this isn't quite right for you. And so, really, any topic they could think of, whether it's, space travel, whether it's being a quarterback in the NFL, anything that might seem, maybe that's not quite the right space for someone who uses a wheelchair. You can do anything you want in media. Media can take you in any topic you would ever want to go in. And so to teach our kids that they don't ever have to give up on any type of dream that they have for themselves for their future, they may just have to explore that in a different way. And so that's what media has done for us. And so being able to be involved in ECAT has been definitely a priceless experience.
That is fantastic. And maybe they cannot become an astronaut, but they can work at NASA.
Yeah,
They can work in
absolutely.
NASA and learn about
Yeah,
everything else, that is
yeah,
happening in NASA. It's not only being an astronaut, but there are engineering and different aspects of there.
yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
I think when you're young, you see only a certain amount of careers, and then the older you get, you realize there's so many things behind the scenes that get the most notoriety. And so, yeah, definitely there's so much that they can do, and we want to expose them to as much of that as we can.
I think that's great. And I think that's universal for children across the board. I think kids always do that. Doctor, astronaut, they don't see the behind the scenes, and that the people that make that possible. And that's really where the opportunities are. And you can have an exciting career in anything that you can dream about. So tell us about the meaning of Able Youth. What does it mean, and how did you guys come up with the name for the organization?
Yeah, so Able Youth was founded a while ago by a guy named Rick Slaughter, and he was somebody that fit kids for their wheelchairs, and he was super personable and would ask the kids, so what do you like to do, for fun? And the kids would say, well, I go to my sister's soccer game or my brother's baseball game, and he would be like, no, what do you do for fun? That's what they do for fun. They wouldn't have an answer. So he came up with Able Youth, and of course, able is just a word that I think exemplifies what we do, and what we teach our kids is that our kids are able in so many things, whether it's sports or recreation or career fields. But able also stands for two different things: athletes building life experiences, and four big ideals that we try to teach our kids, which are adapt, believe, love, and enjoy. And so those are four things that we find are important for kids with disabilities, people with disabilities, to learn. And so the things that we try to teach our kids throughout their time at Able Youth.
I love that. That is incredible. And I just saw able was like, yeah, you're able to do this, you're able to do that, but to have an action and meaning to the words, that is incredible, and it's a good message too.
Yeah, we really do focus a lot on sports, and especially depends on what season we're in. Our wheelchair basketball team, for instance. But when they're going to tournaments, they're learning how to be independent. They're learning that, a lot of them will have a wheelchair that they use for every day, and then they'll have a wheelchair basketball wheelchair, and then they are expected to care for that chair and to take it with them and push it themselves. And they're expected to learn to navigate through these experiences of playing in tournaments. They're expected to learn how to navigate hotels. And so really, athletes building life experiences and infusing the two, athletic opportunities and independence, is really important.
That's great. And when did you join the organization, and when did you become the executive director?
Well, so I moved here in 2004, and I grew up in a lot of programs like Able Youth, but I grew up in Atlanta, and so there were different programs, but definitely I knew that the importance that the programs that I had been in as a kid played a really big role in my life. And so I wanted to be involved in helping have that same experience for those, kids here. So I became a volunteer, and then I also got a different job, and I worked for 12 years at a record label. And so while I was working, I was volunteering at Able Youth, and after a while, I became a little bit of a assistant to the founder, who was the executive director. And when he wanted to retire, it just so happened that I got laid off from my job that I had been in. And so it was really, really great timing, because they had asked me to be the new executive director. And so I've been doing that for about 4.5 years now.
Wow. That's incredible, and I'm glad that you are there, because you bring a different experience and a different, set of skills, and that work that you did at the label may help you to, lead this organization. And I'm glad that you are there.
Yep, I'm glad to be there too, and it's really fun to learn to use all my experiences from the past and bring them to a new scenario, for sure.
So Amy, tell us a little bit about this past year for Able Youth. You talked about how you help kids through sports. How has that been during a pandemic? How have you shifted and still providing services and connection for these children?
Yeah, It's been really difficult. We held our last in-person Super Sports Saturday. We actually got to hold one in March of 2020, which a lot of people didn't get to do very much in 2020 in March, but we happen to have it. This is not normal. Normally we have our Super Sports Saturdays in the middle of the month. That happened to be the very first weekend of the month for a scheduling situation. And had we not done that, we wouldn't have gotten to meet in March. So we shifted to our having all of our things being virtual. And I think that as we see in a lot of TV and media, if our kids aren't seeing anybody that looks like them in media, and a lot of times, even in their regular schools, they don't have anybody with a physical disability that looks like them. A lot of them don't. And so if they're not involved in Able Youth, they might not see anybody that looks like them. And so to really hold the virtual events, even though, it's quite different and definitely a lot of set of challenges, just the ability for our kids to see each other and to be reminded that they're not alone and there are other kids out there, still out there, even if they don't get to see them in person, that are going through the same things that they are, that was really important. So we switched to monthly Super Sports Saturdays and that were virtual. And so we came up with different times and different games and different things that we could do. A lot of times we just found that it was just the being there together and talking and hanging out was even more important in those scenarios. So we did that. We also started doing some of our wheelchair basketball team later on in the year. Last year, we started virtual programming where they would do their practices for them as well. And so our coach, who was actually a two-time Paralympic gold medalist in wheelchair basketball, her name is Emily Hoskins. She held practices with the kids and tried to make sure that they had a basketball at home and learned, plays and dribbling and different skills that they could practice at home. And so we really tried to make sure that they got in the physical activity as well. That's definitely an important aspect. And so making sure they had the camaraderie and the just the social interaction with one another, and then the physical activity aspects. We tried it, as hard as we could to do that, even though it wasn't ideal. But we started again this January with adaptive climbing, and so we did that for 2 months, and then we that's ongoing. But now we're back doing Super Sports Saturdays in person, and so not ideal virtual for us, but certainly something that we were glad to do, and that we felt like the kids got a lot out of. We did a cooking challenge; they got to cook at home, and so just trying to help them, keep up their skills and learn new things maybe that they couldn't learn when we were together in the rec center. That learning new skills at home is important too. So we try to really think outside the box and get them to practice skills as well while they were home.
That is incredible. That is awesome. I love to hear that they're learning how to cook, because it's important to know how to feed yourself.
Yeah, it definitely is important for sure.
Yes. So everybody, all the kids have been vaccinated, I guess.
So it depends on how old they are. So we have kids that are 16 and above, some of them, and they can, but then the kids younger than that, they can't yet. Their parents could, but that they can't. And so some kids families are not quite ready to come back, and that is totally okay. We told them we're happy to have them whenever they are ready to join us in person, but not everybody is. But we're there and in person to people that are ready.
Yeah. And what do you plan to do when you see them in person for the first time?
Oh, whenever they come, we've started to see some of them, and it's so fun. It's so fun to see them in person. And when you work with kids, they grow, and so we haven't seen them in a year, and it's like, wow, you look so much older, and so it's really fun to see them again, and for them to see each other. Maybe they haven't seen their friends at Able Youth in a while either. And so it's just been this really joyful celebration to get to see all of our kids again, for sure.
Fantastic. And what is it that you plan to do the in-person that day, the first day?
So we did Super Sport Saturday in March and April for the first time.
Okay.
And then in January and February, we did adaptive rock climbing, which that's every month, but just started back
Okay,
in
wait.
January.
Rock climbing?
Yeah. Yeah.
How
And
do you do that?
so the other thing I should say is our kids have a lot of range of their disability. So some kids can use their legs, but just wouldn't be able to for sports. And so it's a lot of upper body strength. And it's a lot of strategy if you know about climbing and figuring out how am I gonna do things and how am I gonna hold this and what way am I gonna go? And so it's really fun for our kids to be able to have that experience because again, it's another thing that people just wouldn't think our kids can do. And so for them to learn that they can is really neat too. There's another way that they can climb where you sit in kind of like a chair and it's a pulley system. And it was developed by Mark Wellman, who is kind of the founder of adaptive climbing. And he's climbed all the world's peaks, highest peaks in that system. That's that pulley system. And so rock climbing is definitely a favorite activity of a lot of our kids, just for the unique challenge that it provides. You're not normally pulling yourself up like that, and so it's a lot of fun.
I bet
That's
it
amazing.
is.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
it's hard. But
I wouldn't even try rock climbing.
I,
Kids are fearless. They
They
really
are.
are.
they are. Yeah,
You give them an opportunity, they will do it.
absolutely.
Show them how. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't pull myself up, and and I work out every day, so I can't.
Yeah. Yep. It's hard. Definitely hard.
Yeah. Somebody said to me, "You want to go rock climbing?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm good."
Yeah.
Kids.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Challenge for sure.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing. So the are the tournaments back yet, or are you still waiting? Because you said the age ranges. Are you waiting a little bit? To wait for the vaccines and that kind of thing? Or are you trying to figure out a way that they could do that and still be vaccines or COVID safe, I should say?
So the tournaments have started again.
Okay.
We play wheelchair basketball, for instance, is through the National Wheelchair Basketball Association. And so they've started having tournaments. Again, it's hard about that is that they're all in different states. And so every different state has different set of precautions and rules. And so it is a challenge to figure out the set of parameters that's going to work for an incoming tournament. A lot of them have changed to lowering their capacity for their tournaments. A lot of times they're not allowing very many spectators. They you're playing in masks, which is difficult. But that's just, our kids want to be out there so badly. They've missed it so badly that they're willing to do it to be able to be back out there and to know that won't last forever. And so the season has really been pared down when it comes to wheelchair basketball. We'll have our first tournament in about a month. And then I think we may only have that regional tournament and the national tournament, which is in Wichita. The other tournament is going to be in the Atlanta area. But normally our season would go from October until April. This would be about when our season would end, and we would have a tournament every month during those months. And so it's a lot different, but our kids are, excited to be there, and then they'll take the summer for a break, and then hopefully we'll be in a little bit better situation back when we come back, and then they'll be able to do even more tournaments and have something that looks a little bit more like a regular season. And then we also do track and field meets, and so we're doing those, but a lot of those events, if you're racing or you're doing shot put or discus or swimming, a lot of those are individual events, and so where they are more socially distanced just because of how the sport is. And so a lot of those are pretty safe as well.
Wow. I'm just in awe of everything that you guys are able to do and to provide for the kids. It's great. I love it.
Yeah. And that's something I think too that we appreciate so much about what you guys are doing, is because for a lot of kids, they can go down to their school or their their YMCA or their rec center and play these sports. But our kids, in order to be playing against kids that are like them, they have to go to other states. And so that involves travel, that involves extra equipment, that involves a lot of things that other kids, just don't come into play for them. And so it's definitely hard enough in a pandemic year and all of that when our funding has been depleted. But we always, things always cost a little bit more for our kids to be able to do the things that they enjoy. And so we're really appreciating Amy Cat for providing this opportunity. And it's always is a challenge, but one, like you said, we just love being able to provide for our kids because we've seen what it does for them. We've seen that, the benefits that it has for kids to learn what they can do for their future, what it does for their social life. And we have kids who have played collegiately in wheelchair basketball and things, and we have kids that have gone on to other great careers because the things that they learn from us. And so it's definitely all worth it, and to see their smiles and all kinds of reasons why it's definitely worth it. So we're really happy to be involved in Feel Good Fridays for sure.
Oh, and Amy, how do people find out more about Able Youth? What's your website, phone number? Yep. Give them all the details.
So ableyouth.org is our website. And then we are on Facebook, and I update Facebook quite a lot. And so it's facebook.com/Able Youth Inc. And then you can email Amy at ableyouth.org and get right back to you about any questions you have.
So I think we asked all the questions that we needed to ask, but what are the plans for 2020 with Able Youth? 2021. See, I was still in last year. My mind is still in last year. No, it's 2021.
So the plans for the rest of the year, of course, we know now they're all tentative, but the plans are our kids that are on the wheelchair basketball team will have their first tournament in May, and then they will go to Wichita, Kansas for the national tournament, which is in June. We have, I think, 6 different kids going to track and field meets this summer, and then we will continue with monthly Super Sport Saturdays. This fall, we already know that we have 2 5K races, and then we do a yearly independence camp, and that is for our kids, mostly kids who are 10 and up, to learn all about independence, and that's for a weekend. And a lot of times, parents might try to do things for them and maybe not give them the chances they need to be able to learn. And so that's what that whole weekend is for. And so that'll be this fall as well. So we're hopeful that we're going to be able to have all those things, but we feel hopeful that we're going to do all those things with success, and kids will be back doing what they love.
That is great to hear that they're going to be able to go into another city and do that and Absolutely. Have like a road trip or fly. I don't know if you guys are flying or going to go on a road trip, but either way, it'll be fun.
They have fun being together. And I think all of us are probably all ready to get out of town and do something fun. And so for them, this is something that they really look forward to.
That's awesome.
Anything else, Shanna, you want to ask?
I think we've covered the most of it. It's just wondering, you asked a question, I was wondering what they were planning for 2021, and sounds like they've got a lot planned. It sounds like Amy is a very, very busy person.
Yeah, and I think for everybody, I think this fall, as we continue into a positive direction, hopefully, I think this fall is going to be really busy, but I think, again, it's going to be a great problem to have is a too full of a schedule, because I think we've all missed doing things we really enjoy doing.
Fantastic. I'm so proud of the work that you guys are doing over there, and that you pushed through 2020 and moving forward in 2021. And I can't wait to have you back in the studio. As soon as we get to reopen, we wanted to have a membership meeting. So you're all welcome, as always, to come back and meet in person. So hopefully by July.
Get the kids back in the studio. Get the kids back in the studio too.
Yes.
We're all looking forward to it for sure.
Yes, and hopefully by July, I'm crossing my fingers, we'll be able to get back if everything goes as planned.
Great.
All right. Thank you so much for being here and for your time and for everything you do for our able youth. And to you all that are watching today, please go to their website and donate whatever you can to support this nonprofit organization, or go to NECAT and donate as well so you can support our nonprofit organization. We all are in need of support. So until next Friday, I hope that this Friday make you feel good and that you join us next week for another episode of Feel Good Friday. Have a good weekend and good night.